What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And as you guys can see, I am home. I'm not in the truck. Honestly speaking, I was not planning on making a video today, but I was sitting here reading your guys' comments. And one question that keeps coming up in all of my videos is, how come you're able to find success as an owner operator where they see other people failing? Unfortunately, the truth is most owner operators do fail. That's not something I would lie to you guys, but the reason they fail is not because trucking is dead, not because there's no money in trucking. The reason they fail is because they come in this industry with lack of information, wrong expectations, and basically no real understanding of how this industry actually works. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what I did differently, the biggest mistakes that cause most owner operators to fail. So I'm going to talk about the things you can avoid. So let's say if you want to become an owner operator, you want to stick around to the end of this video, make sure that you do understand what you're getting yourself into and you don't make the same mistakes majority of the people make. And that's why you see almost 6 out of 10 people that end up becoming owner operators failing, and how I was able to find success in this industry, and also talk about how to stay profitable during bad times and how to thrive in good markets. So before I continue this video, over the past months, I've been receiving so many messages from everyone asking me how to get started in trucking, what to look for when buying a truck, how I book my own loads, to how I send out invoices to get paid on time. So what I did was I put together a complete trucking guide for you guys where I teach how to go from having no CDL to getting your CDL and then choosing the right company to start planning for truck ownership, avoiding expensive mistakes when buying equipment, because one small mistake can end up costing you thousands of dollars. Then I teach you how to fully legally set up your own authority the right way so you don't have to pay someone else thousands of dollars to do it for you. And when it does come time to get audited, you pass with flying colors. I also teach you how to dispatch yourself so you can book your own loads, you can negotiate your own rates, and also send out your own invoices so you don't have to pay someone, let's say $600, $700 a week to do it for you. This guide is going to help so many people out. It's basically going to teach you everything I know to this date. And on top of all of this, you're going to get access to a private Discord community where you're going to be able to talk directly with me and get mentored by me, and also talk to like-minded individuals, because trucking is all about who you know, and the more people you know, the more opportunities and doors open for you. So if that's something you're interested in, you want to scale your business to 6 figures in net income, not gross, then click the link in the description, check it out. I've been spending the last couple months making it for everyone. So click the link, give it a shot, and see if that's something you are interested in. Now let's get back to the video and get right to the point. Point number one is a lot of people jump into the owner operator side of trucking way too early. And I get it, man. You're excited. You want to make $10, $15, $20,000 a month after all expenses. But if you were to take my advice, I would say slow down a little bit. Being an owner operator is not just about driving the truck. You have to be good at money management. You have to know how to stay up to date with all the maintenance. You gotta know how to book loads, send out invoices, make sure you're getting paid on time. Then on top of that, you gotta really have savings in the back. And if you jump into being an owner operator right out of CDO school, maybe you don't have savings, then one little breakdown is gonna put you behind a couple months. And then, as you know, if you're behind a couple months on payments, you're gonna end up going bankrupt. And that's why so many people fail, because they just wanna get to the money so fast. Like I tell you guys all the time, money in trucking is not going anywhere. Just slow down a little bit, get your experience when you graduate CDO school, save the money, and then once you do have the money in the bag, that's when you want to jump in, because your goal is to always set yourself up for success. You're not just sitting here trying to become a driver. You want to eventually grow your company from 1 truck, 2 trucks, 3 trucks, 4 trucks, and then so on, where you're able to step out of the truck and then continue growing your fleet. People just want to make that quick $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month, and that's it. What happens if you chase quick money? You're gonna end up crashing, not the truck, but crashing mentally, where you're not gonna be able to just keep up with all the stuff that comes at being an owner operator, and then also learning the industry at the same time. So don't jump in early. First, save your money, have savings in the back, understand how freight market actually works, learn how to negotiate loads, learn how to book loads. Because if you end up paying the middleman all the money to do everything for you, then what's the profit you're gonna have left at the end of the month? So just slow down, get your experience when you graduate CDO school, and then jump into being an owner operator once you do understand the industry. Point number two is having no emergency fund. And no, I'm not referring to a maintenance account where you put money aside just in case your equipment breaks down. I'm talking about an emergency fund. So let's say something happens to you, God forbid something happens to your family where you got to take a month or two off. How are you going to pay for your truck payment, trailer payment, insurance? You got to start thinking about that now before you even start your company, because Let's say it's been a month, you started your company, something happens, you got to take a month or two off, and now you don't have an emergency fund. Then your truck, something happens, your truck has a breakdown, your fund for your maintenance is pretty much low. And then on top of that, you have your truck payment, trailer payment, insurance, all the bills coming in. You pretty much stress yourself out, and now you have no choice but to file a bankruptcy because there's no way you're going to be end up covering all those bills. So before you even become an owner operator, have those funds build up. So what I did was I had minimum 3 months of expenses in the back. So I had my truck payment, trailer payment, insurance, whatever the bills were, right? I made sure I had 3 months minimum. And that's what I would always recommend to have before you even start your company if you want to set yourself up for success, because you don't want to be part of the 6 out of 10 people who do fail. Because what majority of the people do is they end up starting their company, they have a month of expenses in the back, first breakdown, all the money is gone into repairing the truck, family problems, health problems, something emergency comes up, they have to take like a week or two off. Now they're behind bills, freight rates are kind of okay, they're not doing too good, and they can't survive. And then within a month or two, they're like, you know what, this industry isn't good, I'm gonna quit. And now they're all over social media telling people that trucking is one of the worst careers because we're not good at money management. If you get into trucking, let's say 2-3 months late, that's not an issue. Trucking is not going anywhere. Just make sure your funds are fully good. You're good for 3 months, 4 months. And if you want to do, let's say 6 months of expenses before even starting your company, I would recommend it. At this moment, I have, what was it? Last time I checked, I think it was 8 months of expenses I have in my maintenance fund, emergency fund, and equipment replacement funds. Let's say something happens with the engine, the truck is no good, I have to go get it replaced. I can go get that today because I filled up my funds and I got my maintenance fund pretty much good. Something breaks in my truck, I'm able to still pay myself and get the truck repaired. Something happens where I have to take 2 months off because of an emergency, I'm still able to do that and still continue paying myself from the emergency fund. So it's always good to be good at money management and plan accordingly, where you do end up setting yourself up for success rather than failure. Let's get to the next point. The next point is social media. Social media is making trucking look like is one of the most easiest things in the world, and you can make so much money. But the reality is the complete opposite, because first of all, there is no such thing as quick money, fast money, even in the trucking industry. Before you guys continue this video, if you're an owner operator or a small fleet, then you already are aware of how messy the paperwork side of trucking can get. Receipts, expenses, fuel, mileage, trips, and IFTA records can end up spread across your phone, notebooks, spreadsheets, and fuel portal apps. And that's why I want to thank TruckTally for sponsoring this part of the video. TruckTally is an app for truckers, and basically truckers can use TruckTally to keep their business organized all in one place. All right, so now let me show you guys. For example, you can scan and upload a fuel or expense receipt, keep it tied to your business records, and review everything later instead of digging through photos, notebooks, or spreadsheets. Makes everything so much easier as a business owner. And the web app gives you a larger workspace to review records, reconcile fuel purchases, and prepare cleaner records for tax time and IFTA review. Even if you use an ELD or fuel card, you're able to directly import your mileage CSVs and fuel card CSVs, and you can review those records, receipts, expenses, and then when it's time to export for IFTA, you can able to keep everything in track in one place. TruckTally is very useful if you're someone that wants to stay on top of your numbers instead of waiting at the end of the quarter or at the end of the tax season to find out what your numbers are. So you guys do check out TruckTally. It's now available on the iPhone and Android. I'll leave a link in the description, also in the comments below. So now let's get back to the video. I don't know what's going on social media, but people are out there making it seem like $15,000 a month, $20,000 a month is really nothing. There's people out there that make $6,000, $4,000 a month working 9 to 5, and then trucking or on social media, right? Not even trucking, on social media, on the trucking side, they treat $15,000, $20,000 like it's nothing. I don't know what type of world they're living in, but $15,000 to $18,000 net after all expenses is a lot of money off of just one truck, believe it or not. And once you guys do become owner operators, you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. And there's people been in my comments talking about, oh man, you're only making like $14,000 a month. You're only making like $16,000 a month. That's nothing. You should be making $40,000 a month. I was like, I don't know what world you're living in, because the world I'm living in, that's not type of money I'm seeing. Not even in trucking, not even in any other field, unless you have multiple trucks. So don't let social media confuse you into thinking you're gonna make a lot of money. The reality is you're gonna be in this ballpark of 10,000 to like 17,000, depending on if you do have your equipment paid off. So that is the reality. I'm telling you this right now. If you don't have your equipment paid off, you're more than likely going to be 10 to 15,000. If you have your equipment paid off, then you're going to be $15,000 to $20,000 a month after all expenses. Probably no more than that unless you have specialized contract. So it all comes down to the type of content you consume on social media that will set you up for success. Because if you watch people that are telling you you're going to make $100,000 a month, $50,000 a month, what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up taking huge amount of loans. You're going to end up buying really nice cars. And then once you get into trucking, you're not going to see that type of money. Now you have bills to pay and you trying to live that fast life. You're trying to live that rich life. And what ends up happening is you're like, you know what? I don't see that type of money. You file for bankruptcy, you ruin your business credit, and now you're setting yourself up behind so many years where you more than likely gonna have to go back to being a company driver. What I figured is most of those people like who comment on my videos, oh man, being a company driver is so much better than an owner operator. I was like, man, trust me, it's not. Like I am experiencing being an owner operator. I have experienced being a company driver for 2-3 years, and trust me, being a company driver is you can't even compare it to being an owner operator. Yes, owner operators do fail, but like I said, it's all about how you set yourself up for success, and you won't fail. That's the reality. It's not that complicated. It's not rocket science. The next point is dispatching. I really don't understand why someone with one truck, one trailer, and their own authority would need a dispatch to book their loads, read rate confirmations, and send out invoices. It's really not the most difficult thing in the world, and you're paying them what, let's say 10% a week. That's if you're grossing $6,000. That's $600 a month is $2,400. You're paying someone just to book your loads, read rate confirmations, and send out invoices. I don't know why are you wasting that type of money, because that's a whole truck and trailer payment you could be making, and you're just setting yourself up for failure. You should not be relying on someone else to book your loads, especially with one operation. If you have multiple trucks, I totally get it. Dispatchers do come in handy. They're really good when you have multiple trucks, you're building your fleet. But if you're one truck, one man operation, there's no reason you should be relying on anyone else. That extra $2,400 you're spending on a dispatcher should be going right into your pocket, should be going into your other maintenance fund, emergency fund, and should be going into your other funds, or you could be investing that money, right? And I know some people are going to say, man, I don't pay 10%, I pay 5%. That's still not any better. That's still $300 a week that you're giving away for no reason. Even if it's 1%, I still think is waste of money. So there's no reason for you to rely on someone else. When you become an owner operator, you should really understand that term. It's not difficult. I get it. Some things may look difficult on the outside looking in, but once you understand how to book loads, you're going to come back to this video. You're going to be like, you know what, man, you were right. It's really not difficult to book your loads, read rate cons, send invoices. All this takes what? Booking loads can take 10 minutes, maximum 15 minutes, depending on where you are at. And reading rate confirmations, come on, man, that's basic English. Sending out invoices, all you need is a template, and then you just have that template, send out invoices, like 30 seconds to a minute to do that. Really not rocket science. Please don't end up giving people like $2,400 for no reason at the end of the month, man. You should be using that money to save up so you can get another truck next year and slowly start growing your fleet and then becoming really successful in this industry. I want other truckers to succeed because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm already looking into another truck and slowly start growing my fleet, and everyone should be doing that. There's no reason why people are failing other than it all comes down to self-dispatching and money management. Next point is poor money management. When you run your own business and you're an owner operator, you really have to separate your business account from your personal account. You cannot mix both of those expenses, because the moment you start mixing business and personal, and then you're over there trying to figure out what your cost per mile is, you got your fixed expenses, you got your variable expenses, you're not going to be able to know what your exact cost per mile is because you're mixing personal and business together. That's something you don't want to do, because when you're owner operator, you really have to know your cost per mile. And if you don't know your cost per mile, then how are you going to be able to figure out what to book loads for, what is profitable, where are you breaking even, where are you could be making more money and where you're not making more money. So keep both of them separated. And it's also really good for tax reasons as well, because when it comes time to do your taxes, you don't want to be sitting there spending days and weeks separating personal and business. Just from day one, keep both of them separate. Business should be business expenses, and then personal should stay in personal expenses. I would recommend get separate bank accounts. I'm gonna tell you a personal story. I actually know two people from a couple years ago. They're not in business anymore. What happened was they had both their accounts mixed and all the gross money that was coming in. So at one point they had, I believe, $75,000 in their account. They still had to pay their expenses. What they ended up doing was they ended up using that money that they delivered loads with before paying the expenses. They went on vacations, rented supercars, posted on social media, and by the time they came back, their credit card bill was due, their fuel bill was due, their truck payment, trailer payment, everything was due. And they were pretty new to the industry as well. I think it was like 6 months or 7 months they were in it. They just never seen that type of money. What ended up happening was they didn't have money to pay their bills. They inflated their lifestyle. They tried to live a fast, quick, rich life, trying to show off on social media. And what ended up happening was they started asking people for money in the friends and family groups. And unfortunately, not a lot of people helped them out because when they were flexing their supercars and vacations, they didn't think about the future. And that's what you have to do if you want to be successful. One thing you don't want to do is when all that money starts hitting your account, you don't want to end up freaking out because you've never seen that type of money. You want to be good with money management. First, you have to pay your expenses. You have to put money in your other accounts. So just in case if something happens, you're able to fund yourself. And then at the end, you have to pay yourself. That's called net income. So you got to get in a really good habit of doing that, because if you let all the gross money change you, what's going to end up happening is you're not going to have money to pay your bills. And unfortunately, you guys already know, I don't even have to say it, that's one way closer to bankruptcy and failure. And those are the same people, man, that say trucking is bad. And unfortunately, trucking is not bad. It's just that you were never good with money management. And there's owner operators that even gross $300,000 to $400,000 a year in gross income and still end up going broke by the end of the year. Why is that? It's all because of living above their means. I tell people all the time, live below your means. I get it. I'm not saying that don't do anything. You can still go out there, try to enjoy a nice dinner here and there, but your first priority should be to set your business up because you're still early in the game. You don't try to live like someone who's been in the game for 10 years and you have been an owner operator only for 6 months. You still have to sacrifice here and there a little bit until you stabilize yourself and your business, and then you can start enjoying the fruits of your labor. So that's what I always recommend. Give it a year or two, just live below your means, live at your means, and don't get influenced by the money coming in and start inflating your lifestyle, because you're going to end up failing, and that's something I don't want you to do. Just take it slow and you will end up again getting the fruits of your labor in 2-3 years. And another thing is where I noticed a lot of people are victims in the trucking industry is they try to impress other people. So let me take myself for example. I have a Toyota Camry 2025 model. I think it's a really nice car, right? But I had people in my personal life and also on the internet ever since I started uploading videos telling me, oh man, while you're driving a Camry, you should easily get a really nice car. You're making all this money and you should just be driving like a really, really nice car, right? Whatever the brand is they're telling me to get, right? I was like, why do I need to impress other people? If I do get a car, I'm gonna get it for myself. Why do I need to show to other people that, look, man, I'm in trucking, I'm making all this money. Look at me, look at my nice car, look at all my, designer clothing. So don't fall victim to impress other people, because what's going to end up happening is today you might impress them and by tomorrow you're not going to be able to invest all that money that you should have done and you wasted it on trying to impress other people, and by the time your downfall comes, those people won't even look at you. They really don't care what situation you're in. They're not really that loyal to you. So you always want to set yourself up for success and never impress other people, and just whatever they say, listen from one ear out of the other ear, and just focus on your business, growing it, and just worry about yourself. And that's the mindset I'm in, and that's the mindset you should be in, and that's how you will find success. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. And for those who are new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you're new. And one thing I gotta ask for people who made it to the end of the video, I never make videos at home. It's my first time. Is that something you guys liked? Did you guys like this concept of me trying to help new owner operators out of mistakes to avoid? If that's something you guys liked and want me to make more videos like this, let me know. And if you guys want me to go back to my regular trucking videos, I can do that as well. But like I said, I only work 3-4 days of the week, and other times I'm home. So if you guys want me to make these videos, I can go ahead and put more of these videos like this. But other than that, man, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.